Welcome to another edition of Blacks in Motion right here at Black Video News at 8. And as always, it's me, Clif, here to give you the hottest news in sports out there right now. And on this week's segment, we're going to talk a little NBA playoffs, but we're going to talk about some of the best performances posted by players that were coming back from injury, since that seems to be somewhat of a theme in one of the series this year. And we'll also go ahead and tackle some football news, and we'll have a little debate about who's the best cornerback in the league right now. But like I said, hey, we're going to talk about this NBA playoff and some performances by injured players. Now, recently, we've been seeing a really good matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the reason the series got tight again was the return of Serge Ibaka. That's right, or Ibaka, whatever you want to call him. Look, this guy's a physical freak and everything, but he sustained an injury that they thought was going to keep him out of the remainder of the playoffs. But he came back into the series. First game back, 15.7 rebounds, and more so, he just impacted the overall chemistry of the Spurs offense. One man shouldn't be able to do that. And now my San Antonio Spurs look like they don't know what to do out there. Series all tied up, or like should I say, it's all locked up and everything like that, and it might go 7 games. But I love the competitiveness, but I don't like to see my Spurs like that. So since we're talking about players coming back from injury, I picked out my top 3 instances where these players have come back and made an impact for their team. So starting off with number 3, in the 1970 finals, Willis Reed, y'all know the famous running from the locker room with the bad thigh. He didn't even play in the game 6 of that series because his thigh muscle was torn. I mean, he couldn't hardly walk. But he came out there game 7, hit the first 2 buckets for his team, and then pretty much left the game. 4 points, that was it. But what he did for the spirit of that team in game 7 led the Knicks to a championship. Coming in at number 2, Isaiah Thomas in the 1988 finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Isaiah played for the Detroit Pistons, and he ended up messing up his ankle. He twisted it real bad. They said it was as big as a grapefruit. And what did he do? He ended up with 43 points. And he set a record at the time, 25 points in the third quarter, in 1 quarter in the playoff game. That's insane. Now, unfortunately, they went on to lose that game and lose the next one, thus losing the finals. But then they came back the next 2 years and won back-to-back championships for the Bad Boys. And coming in at number 1, yeah, you know, everybody considers him the best player in the world ever to play the game. And you know, it's an argument. You have to agree. That's right. His airness, MJ, Michael Jordan, and the famous flu game, 1997 finals against the Utah Jazz. Look, he had to be held up by his teammate Pippen. He was on the sidelines, towel on his head. He had the flu. Doctors didn't think he was going to not only play that game, but the next one. They just said, dude, you can't do it. Well, he came out in that game, and he posted 38 points and 7 rebounds. Not only did he won that game, but they went on to win the series and the title that year. I guess you really can't hold down his airness, Michael Jordan. But hey, those are my top 3 picks. I hope you enjoyed them. Go ahead, stay logged on, and when we come back from the break, we're going to talk football and who's the best cornerback out there. Stay logged on to Blacks in Motion.